you?
Great.
Well, I was just listening to your show on my way home, and
Right.
I'm a personal fitness trainer, and I was scanning the stations. Your debate, fat versus skinny girls, caught my attention.
Well, we're really not doing a debate, fat versus skinny girls. We're talking about a story that appeared in the Baltimore Sun newspaper about Jennifer Hudson.
Right. And
Lumping her in with women like Beyonce as if they're all, quote-unquote, all curvy.
Right. Well,
but they're not. Beyonce is curvy, and Jennifer Hudson is fat.
Well, she has curves, if you want to look at it that way.
So does a basketball. It's one continuous curve.
Right, right. Well, I mean, here's what I want to say in Jennifer Hudson's defense. I mean, I'm not fat, so I'm not crying out for the fat team because I'm fat sitting at home. But the fact of the matter is, it's a tough town to make it in, and everything's based on looks. And I think it is a big deal that Jennifer Hudson, at her weight, at her size, and maybe not the hottest chick in town, you know, I think it is a big deal that she won such a esteemed role, you know what I mean?
But she's playing a character that looks like Jennifer Hudson. How many roles are there going to be for women who look like that?
Well, I mean, maybe there'll be more in the future, hopefully.
Doubt it.
Marilyn Monroe was big.
Doubt it.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope they prove you all wrong. I hope that the fat, quote-unquote, fat girls, I hope they take over, you know?
Take over? You hope they take over?
I hope they do.
They're never going to take over as long as women's worth is determined by how much men want them.
Yeah, well, that's the problem then.
And men don't want women to look like Jennifer Hudson.
Well, a lot of men do, and I heard what you said. A lot of men like men.
Yeah, a lot of men do when the lights are off and nobody can see them.
Right. Well, a lot of women put up with fat men, but they love them, and they have personalities, and there's all...
Men and women are different.
Women are different. Yeah,
Men and women are different. Men are judged by how much money we make. Women are judged by how attractive they are.
Right. Well, I was just listening to your last caller who called and said he divorced his wife because she was big.
Right.
I mean, he didn't sound like a real catch himself, so I don't know what he's thinking, you know.
Well,
I divorced my wife because she was...
Argue like a girl. You don't have to make things like that up. You don't know anything about this guy's, what this guy has or doesn't have.
Right. Well, what about this woman? Maybe she was trying her hardest, you know?
So what?
So what? He divorced her because
Who cares?
I mean, what kind of...
Who cares? Women say this stuff all the time. You know, when a woman's sports team loses, like in the Olympics, something, oh, but they tried. Nobody cares.
I mean, what kind of...
What have you done for us lately?
I mean, you guys, you're sitting there as a role model for men, making other men feel like it's okay to objectify women.
Oh, but please, of course it is. By the way, we're objectified, too, for our wallets.
Well, I'm not exactly...
Oh, yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are. That guy, come on, how many guys are there that make less money than their wives? That's a rarity.
I mean, who the heck cares about how much money you make on the grand scheme of things?
Women care about how much money you make.
I care about how much money I make. How about that?
Well, guess what? Women also care about how much money the men they date make, especially if they're going to marry them.
As long as they can support themselves.
Uh-huh. So would you marry the guy who hands out Quiznos coupons at the mall?
What was that?
Would you marry the guy who hands out Quiznos coupons at the mall to make a living?
You know, probably not, unless he's really well in bed.
That's my point. You know, you want to be with a guy who has you want to be with a guy with a good career.
I want to be with a guy who has drive and passion.
Well, you call it what you want. The bottom line is it shows up in what kind of money they make, what kind of profession they're in.
Right. And so
women, and that is how men are objectified.
Okay, and so you're saying bottom line, women are sized up value-wise as how big or little they are?
Yes, or how attractive they are. And men do not find fat women attractive, except for the occasional fetishists. I mean, fat women are for poor guys.
Okay, so my next question to you is, what makes you the say-and-all of who's fat and who's skinny? I mean, what makes you decide what's fat and what's fat?
The men will decide. As I said, if you want to find out what men think, you put Jennifer Hudson on the cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition and see how many copies that sells.
I don't know. Maybe it would sell.
No, it wouldn't. Trust me. I'm a man, and I know lots of men.
They wouldn't buy Jennifer Hudson on the cover of a magazine.
Not on the cover of the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. Absolutely not.
What's wrong with a little bit of size?
It's fact. It's fact here, and men don't like fat girls.
Right. So what about skinny girls who have fat on them? I mean, is that not okay?
What does that mean? Skinny girls that have fat on them?
There is skinny fat. You don't think there's...
What does that mean?
skinny girls can have fatty limbs, too. I mean, that's such a stupid way of looking at
Well, that's, again, I don't believe in trying to recreate the world as I want it to be. I deal with the world as it is. And the way the world is men don't like fat chicks.
Do you like fat chicks?
No.
You don't. And what
No.
kind of girl do you like? What's okay by your standards?
Beyonce.
Beyonce is okay.
Yes, she's more than
Well,
okay.
there's men who think Beyonce's fat. What do you have to say about that?
Well, that's their taste. They're entitled to it. But believe me, most men think Beyonce's hot, and that's why Beyonce's on the cover of the swimsuit edition of Sports Illustrated and not Jennifer Hudson.
Right. Well, I hope Jennifer Hudson does get on that cover.
Never going to
And
happen.
just piss a lot of guys off.
Never going to. Well, they don't want to piss guys off. They want to sell magazines.
Well, I hope something happens where, men are forced to deal with other things than body image on women.
Well, guess what? Around the world, America has the fattest women in the world.
Right.
And so if you want to see hot chicks, just go to another country.
Right. Okay. Well, maybe all the men should just move to the country where all the...
Oh, no. Because, you see, many of these women come to America. I gave up dating American women a long time ago. I date women from other countries. They're hot. They're thin. They don't understand why American women become such big, fat slobs.
Right.
And I totally love it.
Okay. Well, good. I guess there's just no proving the point here. I guess fat is just not ever going to work for men. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Correct. Fat is for men who can't afford thin.
Men who can't afford thin?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
That's correct.
This is so disgusting.
It's a fact.
I can't believe this crap.
But it's a fact.
Who can't afford thin?
That's right.
That's a pretty whorish way
Fat women are for poor guys. That's the bottom line.
Fat women are for... Wow. All
Yes.
right. That's enough. I think I've heard enough. Okay.
Really?
Thank you.
Well,
Bye.
keep listening. There's plenty more where that came from.